Following Donald Trump's convictions on all 34 felony counts against him in New York last week, multiple polls, at least 4, have come out, and every one of those polls had nothing but bad news for Donald Trump, right? He's losing support among Republicans. He's losing support among independents. Things are not looking good for him. And then along came a 5th poll. And this poll, actually conducted by a Canadian research firm, so not even a firm that has any, stake in what's happening here. And that's why I do trust this one. Out of the country, totally nonpartisan. They conducted a poll and they found that 33%, literally 1/3 of Republican voters say that Donald Trump is the wrong candidate for the Republican Party this year. 1/3 of Republicans say, we don't want this guy on our ticket. That is huge. It shows that there is not general cohesion in the Republican Party, even among the base. And by the way, those numbers get even worse in the younger demographic, which is the largest voting demographic in the country, assuming they do show up and vote. The 18 to 30-year-olds, 47%, almost half of them say Trump is the wrong candidate. We don't want him on the ballot. So Trump is in some serious trouble. And if you don't believe me, then look at the results of the New Mexico primary this week. In the New Mexico primary that happened this week, Trump only won 84% of the vote. He's the only active candidate that was running, and he only won 84%. That is not good. But here's what's even more interesting about this new poll showing us that 1/3 of Republicans don't want Trump. And this is where it gets even worse for him. This poll was conducted prior to his convictions. In fact, it was conducted about 5 days before the jury came back with a verdict. So this was conducted before closing statements. It was conducted before the jury instructions, and obviously before the convictions came down. Before all of that happened, you still had 1/3 of the Republican base saying, we don't want him. I'm willing to bet that if this same poll were conducted today, the number of Republicans saying they wish they didn't have Trump would probably be significantly higher. Because if you're already at 1/3 of your own party saying they don't want you before you get 34 felony convictions against you, you were in trouble then. You're basically, DOA at this point in this campaign. I mean, that's what this poll is telling us. And so I do think as we move forward, we are going to see Donald Trump's poll numbers get even worse from here. And that's not, out of the realm of possibility. And the reason we think that that's going to happen is because all the polls leading up to this point, the hypothetical ones, what if Trump gets a conviction? We saw him losing tons of support. But now comes the point where we will see how much he actually loses. Because even at the time when we had those polls saying, oh yeah, all these swing states, if Trump gets convicted, they go for Biden. If he doesn't get convicted, they go for Trump. And that's assuming everyone who, was a part of the poll is being honest and open, and that their opinions and feelings about it haven't changed. Now that we have the conviction and all these new polls are currently being conducted, we will see how many people are sticking to their convictions and how many other people have decided, you know what, I'm actually okay with the conviction. So we'll see, but I'm willing to bet that the data moving forward is going to continue to deliver some pretty horrible news for Donald Trump. Hey everybody, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we are closing in on a pretty major milestone here at Fair and Balanced as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet, and we definitely need your support. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, like and comment on the videos and share them as widely as possible.